Manus flat on the canvas. We are ready to rock and roll. Second round of action. There is a cut on Manus.
Yeah. Jesus.
Martial arts chat.
My man B-Hop got dropped out the ring last night. I need a little judo baby. I need me a little judo baby, and let's do it, Ron. Let's give me
You see what they'll do next? You've got a face for radio.
That's got a face for radio.
That's nice.
Martial arts chat.
Martial arts chat.
Hello, I'm John Boy McElroy. Welcome to the Martial Arts Chat podcast. It's the end of year awards show, and I've lost my script, so we're a wee bit flying the wall. We've also lost some panel members as well. Fuck knows what's happened to Mick Tully. And also we've lost the man Victor Vargas. Hopefully maybe they'll jump in later on. But just at this time, massive thank you to our sponsors who have helped us out through the years. A1 Fight Gear. A1 Fight Gear use the latest cutting edge boxing gloves for professional amateur fighters, gym enthusiasts and kickboxers. Local national gyms in the UK. Do yourselves a favour, go check out a1fightgear.com. Also sponsored by bsgear.co.uk. Bsgear offers strength and conditioning programs and can help your strength and conditioning workout, whether you're a beginner, amateur, you name it, man, they're on it. We're also sponsored by Feel Supreme. feelsupreme.co.uk offer CBD oil and natural supplements. They can assist your dietary lifestyle and all your health choices. Some awesome products there. And those are the three guys that are going to be helping us out with some prizes here tonight. Thanks for everyone that got in touch with some awesome questions. The panel here tonight will help me pick a winner from those questions. Best one wins all those prizes. We've got £50 worth of vouchers to spend at Feel Supreme. Some boxing gloves, courtesy at A1 Figure, like I said, and some strengthening equipment thanks to Ben and the guys at Beast Gear. So at this time, let me try and remember and introduce tonight's panel. And we'll start with the greatest thing coming out of Lubbock, Texas. It's my man, Mr. Kevin Jones. Kev, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. This is the rare occasion that you're going to get a sober Kevin Jones on the show because I got to work later tonight. But I will try to keep the energy up as I usually do.
Top man. To my brother from another mother, Daily Record's finest journalist, it's Mr. Tom Heffernan. Tom, how you doing, sir?
Not bad at all. Not bad. I too am sober. Efforts will be doubled for next time.
These sober people at Christmas, New Year, so letting the side down, boys. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Glad to have you on, though, as always. To my man, Mr. John Ferguson at MMA Huddle. John, always a pleasure, mate. How you doing, sir?
Great to be here. Looking forward to answering some of these questions and hearing what they are.
Superb, man. And delighted to get him back on the show, and a first for the roundtable as well. UFC's own, the monster, Kyle Nelson. Kyle, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on again.
Absolute pleasure, my friend. To the hardest working man in MMA, and where would I be without this guy, Mr. Chris Allen. Chris, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, really good. Thank you, mate, for having me on. I can't believe it's been a year already since the last one. Where did that year go?
Fucking hell, that flew in, didn't it? Fight Talk Scotland's own, and under the weather we're here, but maybe he's having a hot toddy to make himself better. It's Mr. Don Wilson. Don, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. A bit better than I was earlier on, but I'm doing good.
Good to have you, man. Purely MMA zone, Mr. Matthew Penny. Matthew, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, all good, mate. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone on the panel. I'm also sober, but depending on how long the show goes on for, I could be hammered by the end of it. So
Superb, man. Superb. And a guy, I'm keeping him last, and he usually jumps in last minute. God knows how many roundtables this guy's helped me out. From Newsome MMA, it's Mr. Kieran Cobley. Kieran, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Cheers for having me back up. It's always a pleasure. 2019, what a year it's been for MMA and combat sports as a whole, really.
Can't wait, man. Is there anyone I've missed out? I know it's a massive group chat. We all good? Superb, man. If I was convinced there was someone I missed out. Like I said, we should have Mick Tully, we should have Victor Vargas, but they seem to went able. Maybe they'll jump in later. Guys, lots of questions to get through. Quite a lot from Facebook, so I'm going to start with those ones. And usually we get some ridiculous questions. This is our 5th year of doing this, but they seem to be, I don't know, maybe the sensible folk are out tonight, I'll say that. We'll start with David McGonigal, who's asking, where next for Colby Covington? Is it Tyron Woodley, or will he try WWF wrestling?
I don't think he goes to WWE.
Is it not? I mean, they got beef. They got a history. They don't like each other. It's an easy sell. You really don't catch Woodley in there with too many people that he bashes on before the fights. I mean, I think that's a no-brainer.
For me, it's got to be Woodley, or it's got to be a job as Donald Trump's personal arse licker. I mean, that's all he's good for, really.
Yeah, he's got that broken jaw, right?
The thing is, he was going to retire. If you remember, he said if he loses this fight, he's going to retire. So
He'll go to WrestleMania, earn $1 million, and go home. That's what he'll do.
You think so? $1 million? $1 million?
Well, I don't know. Those guys seem to get paid pretty well.
$1 million, man. I mean, he's a welterweight, right? So it's going to be difficult to make it in the land of the giants and possibly, enhancing supplements there as well. So I don't know. You need to stand out in a crowd in that gig. Or I've not watched WWE in a long time. Is it different now? I don't know.
Yeah. You get popped for doing stuff like that these days.
Is that right? Well, there you go then. Okay, we'll move on. We'll go Sean Callahan, who's asking, who should Volkanovski have his first defence against? A rematch with Holloway, or possibly Ortega or Zabit?
It's a rematch with Holloway, I think. I think Holloway's deserved his rematch.
It's only fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd personally take a fight with Zabit. I mean, I think Holloway deserves it. Holloway's reign deserves an instant rematch, but his performance, he just got outclassed by Volkanovski, and I think he needs to go away, get a win. Maybe look at diversifying his camp a bit, and then we get a Volkanovski versus Holloway too, and that'll be a much better fight.
How about Holloway versus Zabit first? Now, that could be interesting.
Ooh, that's a wet dream, isn't it?
Would you put Korean's... I know he Frankie Edgar, we could say he's past it, but would you put Korean Zombie in that mix?
That's a good point. Maybe give Korean Zombie a fight and let Zabit and Holloway have it out with each other and see where you go from there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure.
Sounds pretty good, actually. That'd be kind of round table with you guys.
And you could do T-City against Yari Rodriguez.
Oh, T-City. Now, what was it? Why did he pull out? What was the story with Ortega?
He didn't wash his hair or something. Got shampoo in his eyes.
Yeah, man. That's exactly what it was. I forgot about that. Now, he's out for a while, though, right? I want to say he's on the shelf for like the next 6 months or something. I read. I forget.
It was a lengthy injury, wasn't it? It was to be like 6 to 9 months sort of period.
Yeah, man. I mean, that featherweight division, as they say, is stacked, and I for one, I'm excited for 2020 and what all that's going to bring. We've got James Lake asking, if you could change one rule in the UFC or MMA in general, what would it be and why?
Shorter rounds, longer fights. There's so many times I'm watching a fight and it's a great fight and then it's over and it's like the guys fought for 15 minutes. That would have been a 5-round fight in boxing. I mean, I don't think it's any secret that I was a boxing fan for a long time before this MMA stuff even started up. Joe Rogan's been talking about changing the 10-point must system because it's a boxing scoring system. But to me, longer fights. I mean, shorter rounds, longer fights would increase the entertainment value. And I'm not saying we got to do this for every fight, but for big fights, stuff that we're shelling out money to pay for, and we're just getting 15 minutes of these guys going at it. Even with the 25-minute fight in the main events and in title fights, to me, I think you'd find out a lot more about the heart of fighters if they had to go longer.
I'm sort of in the same boat as Kevin. I think along the fights, but having maybe like the title fights of sudden death sort of round. Sort of like they do on the Ultimate Fighter, where after the 2 rounds, if there's no clear decision, it goes to the third. I think having that for a title fight, especially you look back in the past against, especially like Woodley versus Thompson one, that was a fight they could on the sudden death round. So I think that's the way to go.
What would you say, Kyle? Like from
I'm
a
interested
UFC
to hear,
fighter?
Kyle, is there something that frustrates you would like to see different? That's a good shout, Chris.
Like as far as rules, I'd like to see the 12-6 elbow disappear, but like with the length of the fights, I mean, I'd be happy with no rounds, just kind of one long round. I think the problem with shortening the rounds is it's going to hinder the kind of the jiu-jitsu fighters and the wrestlers, because by the time they take their opponent down, they don't have as much time to work. So I like 5 minutes per round or even longer, or no rounds at all and just fight straight the whole time. But then, we got to figure out what we're going to do when guys are stalling on the ground. So I think anything we do to change the length of the rounds or get rid of the rounds is really going to change how the fighters fight. So we just got to find the right way to make it fair for the grapplers while also keeping it exciting.
Pride did it with their rule set. That was good, their timings, and also the judging, the way they judge it. They judge
yellow
it
cards. I really liked that. People slag that, but I like the warning. Do you know what I mean? Like the stalling.
You got money.
Action.
Did you not get money deducted if you got a yellow card?
That's right. Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you got fined, penalised. Should be like that. There should be some kind of repercussions for I mean, we were talking about Woodley there with that fight with Wonderboy. Woodley and Usman as well, man. Well, like Usman was just doing enough to keep control. I don't think he was looking for any kind of finish. He was just looking to. I mean, I get it, man. I'm not having a go, but like for us sitting watching it, I want to see some action, man, and pride. For all the dodgy, we don't test for steroids and all the rest of it. For all the dodgy decisions, that was one of the things I did like, the yellow card and the warnings and, penalised for lack of action. I'd like to see it, man. That's a good shout with the no time limits, though. Just have one big...
like the UFC did at UFC 1. There was just there was no rule, there was no round, it was just time, there was no time, it was just go, 25, things like 25 minutes max.
Yeah, but do you remember some of those matches, like the Hoist, I think it was the Hoist and Shamrock days, I think they were lying on top of each other for 30 minutes doing nothing.
No, Dancer Bird and
Hoist.
Was that the old Valentino thing?
On top of Hoist, and Hoist just held guard for like 25 minutes or something. It was crazy. His face looked like an elephant man at the end of it.
Did you guys ever hear? I had Eric Paulson on the podcast, and he was talking about the UFC one. They were on about having a moat and fucking crocodiles. Yeah. Is this true?
Yeah.
Larry was talking to about. I did a podcast with him, and they had like tons of ideas because they did like a collection of guys. Did Ensign in UA, old school kind of. Early days MMA. I did Victor McCarthy and all sorts talking about the early days now, and Art Davey as well.
Can you imagine typing off today, man?
Yeah, they did a portion of it on the UFC around the 25th anniversary where they did like the animated series, the first episodes are all about who created the Octagon or something, and some of the stuff they had planned for that Octagon was fucking mad, like absolutely insane ideas.
Tremendous, man. I don't know, there's a sick pervert in me somewhere that wants to see that shit, but yeah, it's never going to happen, is it? Crocodiles and moats, Jesus Christ. Layla Ritchie is asking, who is the fighter of the decade?
Of the decade? Can we come back to that in a couple of questions so I can think about it?
That is a hard one.
You already know what my answer is, baby.
John Jones. Yeah, man. Well, that's, I mean, we all know how much love you got for your namesake there, Mr. Jones, but from 2010 till now, I mean, if that's your open and closed book there, who was more dominant in that time frame? Maybe Anderson Silva? I mean,
Demetrius Johnson is a good shout, I think, as well.
Yeah.
The only problem I've got with Demetrius Johnson is he never really had a lot of competition in his early reign as UFC champion. That's the only issue there. I think you have to probably go for like Anderson Silva, something like that.
Yeah, man. And Demetrius Johnson lost.
Yeah, I mean, it was a decision loss, weren't it? But I think Anderson Silva, but then he tailed off at the end of the decade. It's a really tough one to answer.
Yeah, I mean, I love Silva, but the way his career is finishing up and the way that he's been fighting for the last years, I mean, you got to have it. We're talking to the decade, man. We need something complete. Not that I believe John Jones. I mean, he bust on the scene right around that time, around 2000.
Yeah.
John Jones has to be the one. Like, if you think apart from the last few years, you could say Jose Aldo. Apart from the last few years, he was very dominant. He was very solid. Holloway, you could say Khabib. There's lots of people you could say.
Could you, to play devil's advocate, could you put Conor McGregor in that? Not just what he did inside the cage, but what he did for the sport. I mean, this sport's been elevated to the next level thanks to that guy.
Very possibly, if you talk about achievements inside and outside the cage, but I think as a fighter, no. I think as a businessman and a promoter and getting the sport more recognition, well, of course, he's probably the top goat there with Ronda Rousey.
It's just about to say, is Ronda Rousey in that same category then? Is not so much in the cage, but with the pioneering side of things outside it?
I think her attitude spoiled it. I think the way she acted towards the end and her bad attitude sort of spoiled it for herself.
It's very similar. It's very similar to the greatest of all time argument. It just depends what kind of way you look at it. If you look at it as a whole, in terms of raising the sport, or do you take outside of the octagon sort of how you behave, or is it just in octagon performances? It's
That's what I was going to point to. I mean, let's not forget some of the other things that Conor McGregor has done outside the cage. We're not talking about beating up 75-year-old men at a fucking pub. You know what I mean? Spoiler alert for my cringeworthy of the year nomination.
But you know what? You're right with the Conor McGregor thing, because you can say, Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner fight initially made everyone watch MMA, UFC, for example, and then all of a sudden, a long time later on, Conor McGregor comes along and does a similar thing, and even more people get involved. So it's who's going to be the next one?
Of course. We've got, it's not really a question, but we bring Don and Tom this one. Gary Seville is asking, I want to hear a Scottish pound for pound top 10 rankings.
I saw that. I think I saw that question. I was like at the time, I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, that's probably something to do later on. But the scene can change really quickly. You get people that kind of disappear and come back. There's some folk I was kind of looking into, and I don't think they've fought since pretty much since I fought last. And I was like, kind of this changing. I haven't been to kind of Scottish MMA show in ages just because of the baby and stuff. And I don't know. I could walk in there and not have a clue who's on the card, so it changes that quite quickly. So I like to go back to it next. Now the baby's kind of. I want to go back to it next year and see who's actually in the scene these days.
Mm-hmm. I know it is a difficult one. I don't know if you could have a pound for pound top 10. Was that a pound? Is that what he asked? Pound per pound?
I don't know if it was top 10. Hold on, I'll just flick back to that. He did. You're right. Top 10 rankings. That's hard to do, man. Top 10. Top
10.
Top Scottish fighters. I mean, it's got to be what Houston.
I think you just talk about if you're looking at, you would probably have to say Joanne Calderwood's got to be in the mix, because she's been in the top 10. Sort of 10, 15, or almost her entire career in that UFC. I know she's never quite made the title, but she's been ranked for the majority of her career.
I was thinking, you've got the fighters in the UFC and stuff. I was thinking more local, because you could fill up most of that top 10 with the Scottish fighters on UFC and Bellator and stuff. But I'm like, when I read that instantly, I didn't even think of the big ones. I was thinking local folk, but I don't know. That's one for another show, I think.
Ross Houston's pretty good. Where is he now? What's he doing? Is he still in Cage Warriors?
He should be in the UFC by now. Nicholas Dalby got signed. That fight.
Cage Warriors were fucking. What were we some sort of? Were they not letting him do sport jiu-jitsu or something like that?
They didn't let him do Polaris because Paddy Pimblett had done it previously and got an injury.
Right.
I think they were shaking up. I think there was rumours Ross was going to fight, and then it didn't happen anyway. So I could see why he was pissed off, and I think Graham Boylan's relationship at the minute is probably not in the best place.
Yeah, I look every time I look Twitter. Every now and again you just see him. He's mad. He's like, oh, let's see if we go again.
I know. I think Ross is trying to work his ticket out of there, but it looks like
what does he need to do? He should be there. He should be.
Because I think he had that. He had that great fight with the Dutch
Dalby.
Nicholas Dalby. Yeah, he had that great fight. And then we're like, good, we either get a rematch for that, or they'll get them out to the UFC, and then Dalby got sent to the UFC, and then he's still the Cage War.
Yeah. Why would the UFC not sign both of them and put that rematch on straight away? That was
exactly right. Exactly. Yeah. That made all the sense in the world. You're right, mate. I don't know.
Especially when they're going to Denmark, and that's where Dalby was. That was where Dalby was. That was a fight to do.
That's crazy.
Well, they were both open to that fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ross was. Yeah.
Yeah, so Graham Boylan manages Dalby, and pretty much all the guys that moved from Cage Warriors to the UFC. Graham's, I believe, managed them, or he's involved somehow, or but he's not involved.
Yeah, it's Graham's company, Intensity Sports Management, that they have Jack the Joker on there, and Dalby's on there. I don't know if Wood was. I think Wood might have been, or Jack Shore is. There's a lot. It tends to be a lot of the intensity fighters from Cage Warriors that get signed up.
Because I was stunned that they didn't sign that fight up for UFC Denmark.
Everyone was. The amount of people on Twitter just wanting that fight and tweeting the UFC that they want to see that fight. It just didn't happen. I don't get why.
Not just that, any fight. I mean, we've got a question here from Sean Fitzgerald who's asking exactly that. Should Ross Houston get a UFC fight in 2020, or would that be too early for him? Definitely not too early for him, man. The guy's undefeated.
He's undefeated. Is he had 9-10 fights now?
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, he's had that amount of fights. There's guys getting signed to the UFC that've got only 5 or 6 fights on the record. You know, I don't know what he has to do. I don't know whether they've got to do a cut in that welterweight division to, cut some off some of the dead wood and before he can come up or what. But
He's a really big welterweight as well.
Huge, man.
Guy John and Donald, we've been in his company, and he's huge.
He'd be a great. Yeah, if they wanted to do a return to Glasgow in 2020, he's the guy you want on the card, surely.
They're not coming to Scotland anytime soon, man. They've made that very clear. I don't know what it is, but
that's mad.
I know.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that for certain, John, because it's provisionally booked for July.
Yeah, provisionally booked. Yeah, looking at go back.
I know they do that, and that doesn't necessarily mean anything. But they have provisionally booked it for July.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. But I'm such a pessimist, Tom. I look at it like, Nick Diaz is coming back. Is he? Aye, right, okay. Slow news week.
Oh.
Like I just don't buy into it until I see it for myself.
I know, but to be fair, the last couple of times that they've been to Glasgow, they've given me a heads up in the January,
right?
Because we do a lot of stuff for them, and we need to plan in advance and stuff. So we'll wait and see. So it's obviously not January yet, but I've been back and forth with them a few times trying to push, and Bellator as well. I know Bellator are really pushing for a Huddle card. So,
that would be awesome.
I would set it. I would set it as 50-50 just now.
I think if the UFC don't take Ross, Bellator are going to jump on him soon, and they're going to take him up, and they're going of him.
Yeah,
I would hope so. Anyway, the guy deserves the limit and everything else. We've got a question from a guy called Chris Dopo Allen. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of him.
Oh, he's some wanker. Never heard of him.
And he's asking, will Team Renegade take over next year? This guy wants to win some prizes.
Very good
just fucking kicking ass though, isn't he? Let's be honest, man. That guy is the shit.
Yeah, I mean, you've got what in cage range right now. You've got Matthias Frederick as middleweight champion. Jahib is the lightweight champion.
Yeah.
Fabian Edwards is doing bits in the Bellator middleweight division. He's a very good chance he could be Bellator middleweight champion by the end of next year. Leon Edwards could very well be the welterweight champion in the UFC by next year. You've got amateur guys like Mosey Bear on there. Tom Breeze is the head coach there. It's just an amazing gym.
Yeah.
And Akon Wanless as well, now guys. He won the last Bellator card as well. They're all just coming through.
Yeah, I mean they've just got a huge talent pool there. Ridiculous.
What's the neck of
it's
the woods?
Almost unfair to the rest of the gyms.
Birmingham, I take it. Is that where we're at? Midlands with these crew? Yeah. Something in the water there, right?
Well, just because we're talking about him, but Ross Houston spends a lot of his time down there as well.
He does, aye. He was saying he trains with Leon Edwards and Fabian, gets the rounds in with the boys. And aye, man. Massive improvements he's seen in his striking. No doubt, man. You're training with those guys? Fuck me. Your striking's only going to go one direction. Kieran Orr is asking, Kev, this might be for you because it's a boxing related question. Was it a bad decision for Tyson Fury to split with Ben Davidson, and is having AJ in his camp a bad move for a future fight?
I gotta say yes and no. I mean, Davidson's such a young guy. I mean, I think you cannot take anything away from what he did for Tyson Fury mentally and physically. You know, when he was on his comeback and whenever he chose to go with that trainer, that was really out of left field, man. I'd never even heard of the guy, but I like a lot of the things that he does. But at the same time, man, I mean, you know, when you're at the top of that level, you see it with heavyweight champions throughout history, man, and very few of them, especially if you look at the 90s and in the 2000s, man, very few of them stick with the same trainer. They always go around trying to find something better. Lennox Lewis didn't start out with Emmanuel Stewart. Vladimir Klitschko didn't start out with the Emmanuel Stewart. And, so whatever move he's making, I think that he thinks that's the right move. And, as far as Anthony Joshua, to me, that fight is not as appealing. It's just the style matchup is not there. It's much more appealing to see him in the ring and see him and Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua in the ring with some of these other guys that prevent a lot more, I wouldn't say intriguing, but more exciting style matchups. So, whatever the Gypsy King is doing, I have faith that it'll work in him. He's in a great place mentally, great place physically. He's making all the right moves and setting up his family for generations with what he's doing right now and how he's turned his his life around. So props to that man.
And his brother was fighting recently as well, wasn't he? His brother of Love Island fame. That's the only reason I fucking know it. That's terrible. But he was that his pro debut or what? Anyone see that?
No, he knocked the guy out within a minute. His second fight. Yeah.
Oh, was that right? Oh fuck. Right, okay.
Is that Tommy?
Lights out.
Tommy, aye.
But it's just for Tyson, it's quite weird. Why would you bring in Anthony Joshua to your camp when a big fight down the line is going to happen? Surely you wouldn't bring him in because then AJ would have a good inside knowledge of Tyson during camp. So
yeah, but that's not how boxing works. Boxing works, and you fight who they think you're stylistically going to beat. That's why. Anyway, let's not go into that. That's why I don't watch boxing that much. But yeah,
no, I don't watch boxing that much either. So.
But they won't put them together because, as Kev said, it's not stylistically the sort of match people want to see. Even though it's a match that needs to happen, it won't happen. Yeah. With MMA, you fight whoever's ranked near you. It's simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point about why would you want AJ have an insight into Tyson's camp? But remember, Tyson went out and helped Vladimir Klitschko in a camp. Talks about quite openly. In his book, he talks about quite openly in interviews and stuff about how he beat Klitschko mentally in the sauna at the camp. So,
true, yeah. I remember reading that.
I could flip this the other way too, man. I mean, just as much as you might think it might benefit Joshua, it could very well benefit Tyson Fury. The guy is very, very intelligent when it comes to when it comes to pugilistic arts, and he could very well be. He could very well be stealing a little information from Fury to use for him down the line and putting some things in his back pocket that he's not showing him,
Who wins that fight, do you reckon?
Shit, man. Fury, at this point, Fury, for sure, I would think. But just like I was saying, I mean, just the way that AJ showed a lot more. I saw a lot of things that I needed to see from him in the last fight with Ruiz. But it is not going to be a pretty fight. I mean, it's going to be boring. It's going to be slow with Fury moving around the ring and AJ, if he attempts to keep up with him, I mean, what are you going to do when you get there? You're going to throw some shots. He's going to make you miss. It's going to be, it'll be more boring than the Klitschko Fury fight. I can guarantee you that.
It'd probably break records in the UK though, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I love Fury's style, man. Just be elusive and abusive, just like slipping up constantly, man. It's a great style. Who else we got? A guy called Kieran Cobley apparently is in the show. Who's asking what was the worst card of the year, and what do we think about the competition between Cage Warriors and Bellator's European series?
I feel like we're just in the twilight zone. I'm going to answer me a question. I mean, from a journalist point of view, I mean, Cage Warriors versus Bellator has been fucking fantastic for British MMA. I mean, I know some of the guys, there was a lot of journalists down there who do covering both Cage Warriors London and Bellator London in November, and that was just an amazing weekend of fights, and the amount of talent they got down there was amazing. And I think it's just doing bits for the UK scene now, because there's more than one place to go now. It's back like when Bama was competing with Cage Warriors as well. Fighters have got an option of whether you want to go to Cage Warriors or Bama or Bellator now, and it creates options. It creates opportunities for fighters that might not want to go to the UFC. They might just want to go in, make enough money to feed the families.
Yeah. I think the problem Cage Warriors has got just now is that Bellator are paying almost UFC level cash.
Yeah, it's.
I know a guy was offered a 4-fight deal in Cage Warriors for, you could earn more.
Yeah. I mean,
down the clubs.
Cage Warriors, if you're like a newbie, you'll be lucky to get $1,000 for a fight.
Yeah. Did anyone see? Did anyone see?
I got offered. Obviously, we're on the podcast anyway, but yeah, I got offered less than that for one of my fighters one time.
Yeah, but did you see? There was something got leaked. It was a Cage Warriors champions contract, and it's basically it detail how much they got paid for the challenge. Well, how much they got paid to challenge for the title, and how much for each 3 defenses. And it was you didn't make 5 figures until the 3rd defense. It was that bad.
Can I ask Kyle Nelson, without I don't want to get you in trouble with my question here, but how do you feel about the entry level pay? Because we spoke about it a lot in this podcast with the guys I'm sitting around here now. We're pretty disgusted with how you guys are treated at entry level. This 10 and 10 shite. What's your thoughts on fighter pay and you know, not to not get you shit in the company. I'm not looking to do that, but just your thoughts on fighter pay and entry level and that kind of thing, mate.
Yeah, I mean, you know, everyone always wants to get paid more.
I mean, no doubt.
Hello?
You still there, mate? We lost him?
Do you know, while we're waiting on him, I think.
The UFC have come taking him out.
I feel like it has. I feel bad for asking that question now. Who's next? That's it. We lost him.
A word of warning: Sebastian Trump on here. He might get them jerked off the show too, man. You never know who's listening.
Yeah, fuck the impeachment.
Oh dear.
I think Kyle's north of the border, right? He's a Canuck. From the Great White North. Oh well, there we go. I got you now. We thought the UFC might have intervened there.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so I was saying, yeah, like I don't have a problem with the entry level UFC pay. It's just if they can keep you busy. The problem is sometimes with the UFC you'll fight, you know, maybe once or twice a year. So with the entry level pay, obviously it's hard to afford the training camp and you know your regular bills and stuff if you're only fighting once a year. But if you can get 2 or 3 fights, you know, or even 3 or 4, then it wouldn't be, you know, you'd make a, you know, kind of an average living compared to someone working full time.
And is the incentive that as you go on, as you progress with this and with that company, I guess the idea is you're incentivized to make more with the next contract and make more with the next contract. That's what you bring to the table, I guess, right? Yeah, and so I'm still on my first 4-fight deal with the UFC, so I've got one more left on this contract, and then we'll hopefully go into contract negotiations, and that'll be kind of my first time seeing that side of it, so, you know, hopefully it goes well.
You know, I just got to say, man, that is, I mean, there's been talk, you know, for years and years. I've been in so many conversations on this show in person with people about fighter pay. And what you just said, man, is probably the most logical thing I've ever heard anybody say about it, man. That was a great answer. And I don't think you were playing company, man. Not even a little bit in that deal, man. That was the most honest thing I've ever heard from an actual fighter about fighter pay.
Fair play, man.
I mean, in the interest of fairness, I know we slagged off Cage Warriors pay, but did anyone see it was a Bellator card earlier this year and they released how much fighters were getting paid? And some of their fighters were only getting paid 1.5, and that was in dollars, so that's less.
No, sure, but isn't the gimmick that you can go and make your own money with sponsors, which is a thing that Kyle and the UFC guys don't have? Isn't that, you know?
I mean, there's that, yeah, but
bargaining power.
I mean, with how Bellator's televised, you're not guaranteed to get sponsors because you don't know what fucking channel you'll be on, especially in the UK.
Well, in the UK, aye, that's true.
Sometimes I'm watching Bellator, I've got to sit and fucking post-it notes something. It's like a guide, right?
Yeah.
If it's on it this time, go to this channel.
Too true, man. Nicky Lowe is asking what we're all thinking right now. Does Jorge Masvidal get the winner of Conor McGregor, Cowboy Cerrone?
I hope he gets title fight. He wants a title fight, yeah. I think he'll get the title fight. I think he'll sit out and wait for the title fight.
Usman, the most boring fighter in the UFC. Marty from... Where is he from? Not from
Nebraska.
Nigeria. He's not from Nigeria anyway.
Marty
he's from Nigeria when the company suits him, or when the face paint's out. Can't stand the guy, man. I'm not being one of those little Kobe Covington trolls, but like I can't stand that prick, man. Oh God!
As it is, mate, black and white. Fair enough.
I think if I don't know. I've got issues, man. Like if I was in America and I saw those two candidates, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, I think I would vote Trump just to piss people off, not because I believed in what Trump said, but just to go like I'm that little shit. As you've probably seen if you follow me on social media, like I've been sharing Boris Johnson shit for weeks now, only to just be a little prick.
People
especially
love
here
it.
in Scotland.
So easy.
Everyone's putting on the blue face paint and ready for marching over the border. I know you can't vote Tory because you're Scottish. Anyway, let's not go into politics. I know I brought it up. We've got Paddy Patterson, who is asking, what's your fantasy tough house, including yourself and any fighter celebrity as contestant / coach? Do you have anyone you want?
Dibs.
Yep, dibs. Right.
What was the question again, John?
Anyone you want in the fantasy tough house. So who you having, coach, fighters, whatever you want. Name your lineup.
In fantasy, what?
A tough house.
Ultimate Fighter.
Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Having all the chicks in there is always fun. So I'd probably lean that way.
Intergender belt. What would you call that?
I'm trying to think. Who'd be the coaches? Let's start there. Let's start with who'd be.
Right, we'll start with coaches. Good shout, right? So, coach of the stars.
Colby Covey.
Who's your man that always goes, don't give up? Who's that big Dutch guy? Don't give up. It's the worst advice ever. What's his name? Guy who used to be the Black Zillions. I don't know what he is now.
Henry Hoof.
Thank you. Henry Hoof. Get him in there he's always good for a laugh. Fuck, man.
Bash as a coach.
Right.
That's Rutten. Yeah.
Bash Ritten's a fucking great shout, man. He looks like Hellboy now with that arm just deteriorated in it, poor bugger. He's got one huge bicep and one leg. I'm going to use my strong hand.
You horrible bastard.
He's a legend, though, don't get me wrong.
It's like Jeremy Beadle, yeah.
I bought that, what's the Bash Rutten, the training mask? I don't think I've ever used it, but it's somewhere in a cupboard in this house.
I learned from the self-defense videos in the bar.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, I know. I love does anyone ever watch Bash Rutten's commentary of his own fights? And No Pride. What's it? And what the fuck is it, man? Not Pride. What the fuck is it?
Pancras. No.
Pancras, thank you. Jesus, man. Why could I not think of that? I don't like him very much. He would do that. You can't punch, right? You can't do a closed fist. And he'd draw the shit in his palms and fucking smack the guy out. Love Bash Rutten. But yeah, he's got some dodgy limbs. Anyway, coaches, anyone else you want to see in this fantasy house? Can be anyone you like. Stick Donald Trump in there. It's always good for laugh. Greta Thunberg. She's in the news.
Oh, no, just have it's your tough final. Trump versus Thunberg. The 16-year-old brat versus this 70-year-old guy that just wants to grab her by the pussy, essentially. That'd be a fucking fantastic fight.
Can we have anyone in the house, like past or present, even if they passed away? Can we bring them back?
Why not? Resurrect them. Go on you go. It's Christmas. Who you want to see back from the dead? Coleman?
We could put Michael Jackson versus Macaulay Culkin. That'd be good.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You went there.
It is Christmas.
Fucking hell.
Jesus, man. Okay, fair enough. I didn't know we were whipping out the Jesus juice, but let's move on anyway. Lucas. Hold on, how did I say this? Lucas Piotrowski. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, mate. Top American of the decade, top Canadian of the decade, top British of the decade. Oh, I don't know.
Bisping, GSP.
Yeah.
Who else? Who's the American?
John Jones, baby.
John Jones.
It's probably after John Jones. As much as I don't really like Jones, I don't like his personality. I think as a fighter, you can't really doubt that he's probably the best.
Yeah, man.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I think we got it. Mariam Amin, what's more annoying, top 5 MMA articles or shitty podcasts like this? Ouch.
I can guarantee somebody was winning boxing gloves.
Fucking hell, man. You're not going to prize us, you prick. You heard me cut me deep, Shrek. You cut me real deep that time. Michelle Waters. Greta Thunberg gets some serious training in, makes her debut in 2020. Who are you matching her with? I mean, obviously a female fighter, I don't know.
Chris Cyborg. Just watch. I just want to see what Cyborg could do to her.
I should probably grab her and throw her out of the fucking cage, man.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't know who it is either.
I'm so.
I wish I was you, man. I wish I was living under a rock as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Tom just got his first touchscreen phone.
That's right. It's
How do I work this?
SKY.
I've now got Channel 5 done.
Spice Girls coming out.
How jealous of you.
Are we getting a preview box soon?
Yeah, man.
I know.
Anyway, I look forward to the Channel 5 porn.
Good to watch Bellator now.
Is asking, what's the knockout of the year, submission of the year, the show of the year, and coach of the year?
Oh man,
Those are hard. Knockout of the year.
Knockout, you got to go Masvidal knocking out Askren.
Yeah,
I mean, there's been some belters still in there, but Masvidal's up there, isn't it? Submission. Submission. There was a guy that got a twister the other night. Second of a twister. There you go. I like that.
There we go.
Loved it.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be
a twister. I think when somebody wins by twister, it by default gets like sub of the year.
Yeah.
Didn't he get a submission this year with the and then Aljamain still on the same night when he did the back take and took the leg, like got a random knee bar from back.
Was that last year? Though?
Oh no, I don't think it was this year, but I remember that. Yeah,
I can't remember.
Didn't Paul Craig get a submission like in the last second of one of his fights?
That was last year as well, but that was
a couple of fights.
I always love it when they get, even if they're winning, man. If they just finish it in the last 5 seconds.
That's Paul's style, man. Get battered for fucking 2.5 rounds and then whip it a submission and see you later.
That's my vote.
Yeah, man. What about show of the year? What's been your MMA card of the year? I really liked Bellator London, if I'm honest.
I don't remember what show it was the other day.
I really enjoyed Cage Warriors Night of Champions 106 with all the 5 or 6 top fights in one night.
I would agree with Chris. However, I was sat in that press room and I sweat like something.
Yeah, I remember. I remember it was 41 degrees in there, and they said, "Oh, we'll open the window." I was like, "Brilliant, fantastic."
Yeah, I think from a British card, I'd say Bellator Birmingham because I got to meet Raymond Daniels, who's just a childhood hero of mine, and he did that awesome spinny shit knockout. That's my knockout of the year, actually, because he did some spinny shit punch thing, right. And that was just fucking. That was fucking. And Fabian Edwards had that up kick knockout on the same card, and it's just fucking unreal. I mean. And the fact they're not going to get E5 through KO of the year because Masvidal KO'd Ben Askren and put him into the Twilight Zone in 5 seconds is unreal. I feel sorry for the poor bastards.
No, you're right.
Anthony Pettis knocking out Thompson, Wonder Boy.
That Superman punch, or whatever it was, that was class.
Yeah.
Everybody wrote Pettis off for that one. Yeah, good man. What about Coach of the Year? Do we have a pick for Coach of the Year?
I'd say it'd be Tom Brees or John Kavanagh with their performances of their guys through Bellator and stuff like that. I'd say in Cage Warriors.
I don't know. ATT.
Who's Henry Cejudo's coach? The guy with the glasses. I can never remember his name.
Oh, it's Paul Bearer, isn't it?
Oh
yeah. Oh no, little short guy, Eric Almaraz, I think his name is. I can never remember, but he's just he's a phenomenal coach. I think he deserves that.
Fair play, man. Paddy Patterson's got another one in. Why does Brendan Schaub always say "for sure" when he agrees with something?
I don't listen to him anymore. I've blocked him on social media.
Blocked him.
Can't stand it. Can't stand.
You blocked him? Fucking hell, man. Serious stuff. Right, okay, well, I've got some from Twitter. Let's see what we got. Just give me a second, talk amongst yourselves. So we do it.
I've got a question while you're waiting.
Something underneath my foreskin and listening to
we never hear who anybody thinks is the best ref. And I'm going to throw mine in first. I'm going to say Keith Pearson.
Tim Winslow.
Who was the guy with the braided beard? But I think he's got rid of that now. I love that guy. Just
Emily, the big guy.
I thought he had a job. No,
I've got him on Instagram. He's got a pretty good account.
I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. Matt Beltran.
Yeah, Beltran.
Beltran, yeah, that's it. What does he say for the fight? Get your business or something. What does he say?
I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah, man.
Get your biscuit?
No, he said something like "get your business" or what does he say? He said something.
Who's the ref? There's a ref. He looks about 4.5 feet tall, but he's an absolute tank.
Oh, Mini Brock.
He's an absolute tank. So he is.
He's 3 feet tall and 5 feet wide. I know the guy.
That was a plastic spade.
Yeah, man. He's brilliant. Him. Anyway, we've got something to Twitter before we move on to the final part of the show. So at Drocket6969, now he's asking about Fight of the Year and Knockout of the Year. We'll get to all that later on, but I want to hear this one answered. Breakthrough Fighter of the Year.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Who's your breakthrough?
Daniel Wood, maybe.
Yeah, I mean he's stepped up onto the UFC platform this year. I think he had a really good year.
Is it controversial to say Adesanya? I mean, I know he was a breakthrough star.
The established now.
I'll go with Adesanya, man. I mean, I know he was around a little bit. You know, he was known before this year for sure, and he was on the scene. But I mean, this year is what is cemented his spot in the sport. He's not going anywhere.
Rosenstrike is a good shout, I think, for breakout fighter.
Yeah.
Four heavyweight wins in 1 year is pretty good going.
That's good shout.
Yeah, Alex Volkanovski, maybe.
I don't know if it's more of a comeback fighter. You could say him in Masvidal coming back this year with 3 wins. You know, after a couple of years off.
That would be the. I wouldn't say breakthrough, but you're right, man. I would agree with you. Or what about Kyle the Monster Nelson? Is he the breakthrough star?
Yeah, man, big win, TKO, man. Yeah,
man.
Coming up.
Reyes.
For sure.
Yeah, it was
sure
great to get that first UFC win.
Yeah, man, I bet.
We've got at J Wetzel MMA. Who had the biggest breakout year in 2019 UFC? My pick is Corey Sandhagen.
Who had the best what? Sorry?
I guess his breakthrough star. He's saying the same kind of thing, but his pick was Corey. Is it Corey Sandhagen? Is that how you say it? Corey
Sandhagen. Yeah, great player.
We're not disagreeing, man. Fair play. So I'll flip back onto Facebook. We need to pick a winner, guys. Off the top of my head, is there anything that sticks out before I start flicking back through? We've got
another one who asked who's your favourite coach and all that sort of stuff of the year. That was quite a good one. Got us all talking a bit.
Yeah, who asked about the Ultimate Fighter House? Because that made us sound like really stuck.
Yeah, that was the same question. That was the same question. That was Barry Patterson. Yeah, Fantasy Tough House and coach contestants.
I like that.
Go for that.
I don't know, the Renegade take over?
Yeah, man. That guy's a nice guy as well. Send it in. Team Renegade to go next year. So, I'll just quickly run through them anyway. We've got what next for Cobley, Tyron Woodley or wrestling. Who should Volkanovski fight next? Rematch with Holloway or someone else? Scottish pound for pound rankings. Team Renegade take over next year. Should Ross Houston fight in the UFC next year? Was it a bad decision for Tyson Fury to split with Davidson? If you could change one rule in the UFC, what would it be?
I like that one.
That one's a really nice one. Really gets you thinking.
Go for that.
And we had the UFC fighter give his opinion on it as well, so that's a nice one.
Absolutely.
Cool, man. So, on top's promoter, James Lake. You're our winner.
I thought that. I was like, I heard that. I think James is the best.
Change it.
There you go.
A quick PSA to whatever asshole sent in that question about this being a shitty podcast or fucking clickbait articles. Just remember, at the end of the day, you're listening to John Boy's show. So, you're listening to fucking his opinions and the people that he chooses to be on here. So, who the fuck are you to criticize what this man's been trying to do for however many years we've been doing it?
Where's your fucking podcast?
Exactly, Mariam. I mean, everyone get on Facebook and fucking troll the shit out of this bitch.
Enjoy the show.
She said, what's more annoying, top 5 MMA articles or shitty MMA podcasts like this? I mean, I get it, man. I hate the old top 5. What's your top 5? Fucking every week to what's your top 5?
The top 5 article is your scapegoat if you've got no fucking ideas on what to write, essentially.
Yes, exactly.
I think any MMA journalist will probably agree with me on that one.
So what are we doing? Are we picking a guy who's a promoter for Scottish MMA, or are we picking someone random who's going to win these prizes?
I'd say my firm pick's the person who asked, is it Patty, who asked the question about the Tough House, because that was
I'm Tough House.
That's a good laugh.
Tough House.
John, see before you decide, if James Lake's in the mix, right? On Top's coming up soon, there might be a table involved in this.
This is a good shout.
we all might end up at stage side.
This is a very good shout. So, what you're saying is...
I'm not trying to influence you here.
Right. I hear you, man. I hear you. So, James Lake, you're our winner. And congratulations to you. Probably half the guys in this podcast already sponsor your show, but you're winning free shit anyway, boxing gloves, strength and conditioning equipment, and you can get CBD oiled out your nut thanks to Supreme.
I know we've kind of moved on for this a wee bit, right? But can I just give you my answer to James's question?
Go on.
And that was the one about the rules, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's right, yeah, if you could change one rule.
I would have it that the fighters get paid in the currency of their local country, the country they're fighting in, or the country they live in. You know, like, it's all dollars, so if a British fighter wins a $50,000 bonus, they end up with like 30 grand because of the conversion rates and things. So I would have it that they get £50,000, not $50,000.
Interesting.
Anyway, move on.
It works the other way.
I think there's one I missed out. David Getz. Sorry, I'll sneak this in the last minute. What would be your ideal realistic card for UFC Glasgow and Bellator Glasgow events if they happen? Sorry, David, I missed your question, mate.
Oh, well, what one do you want to do first? I think UFC Glasgow is Jojo Calderwood versus Shevchenko for the belt.
Rematch and with Beardew and Shogun? You've got to stick that in there, right?
That's got to be on there, I think.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's not matched him already.
Stevie and Diego Sanchez.
Oh, hello.
And Danny and... I don't know. Max Holloway. Because of the same height.
We'll get
Beardew not getting in on there?
Oh, yeah, man.
Somebody said that one, yeah.
We'll get
Ross
Houston for sure.
Yeah. The thing is, those like the first three Scottish wins, that would probably be like the best Scottish like fights we've had on a Scottish card. Like, you get good Scottish fights, but to have that title fight, to have that rematch, and then fucking Diego Sanchez windmilling in the Hydro, like that. Those would be some good. There was actually some good fights. But we'll see what happens with this card. We all seem to get kind of. The cards never look good in paper, but they're usually good in person.
Okay, guys, final part of the show. We're going to pick some awards here. I'll come to you one at a time. Try and keep it succinct as possible. We've got 3 categories. We've got Fighter of the Year, Fight of the Year, and the Cringe Award. That's a new one for this year. So, best from me serves me best. I'll start with we'll start with Kevin Jones on this one. Kev, we're going to start our open category for this one is Fight of the Year 2019. What's your Fight of the Year, mate?
I think you got to look at Israel Adesanya versus Kevin Gastelum. Man, there was everything you wanted out of the fight. Swings in it. There was bodies hitting the ground. There was, Adesanya is close to getting stopped there, and I forget which round it was later in the fight, and then he comes back and pulls it off, and then, and I guess I don't know if I should add any criteria what the man did after that fight, but I really can't separate it because it was all that was the start of the story of him winning the title and of his 2019, man. So that's probably what most I think a lot of people will probably look at that fight, and I usually always try to be a little different, but this year I can't, man. That was it for me. It went the distance. It was a slugfest. Like I said, man, you didn't know which way it was going to go until that last round. So
quality fight, man, absolute quality fight. I remember thinking at the time, going, well, this is the fight of the year. And the only one that kind of gets me thinking, and not so much because of how back and forth it was, it certainly wasn't back and forth as that fight, Kev, was DC and Stipe Miocic, the second fight. Because DC picked him up, took him down. It looked like business as usual after that first round. And then those body shots, man, completely changed the momentum, and then we saw the finish. And for what it's worth, man, that's my 2 cents. But yeah, Adesanya, that was he was already on the road to stardom, but...
you're talking about a fight where we got to see DC knocked out, so it's I think I'm gonna have to side with you and change my.
I changed your pick just really based on DC. Good man. You never let me down, Kev. Superb, mate. Chris Allen, we'll go to Chris next. Chris, your thoughts. Give us your pick for Fight of the Year, mate.
For me, there's a few. Obviously, it's always tough, but when I was having a little look through before the show. For me, and also I got to attend it, I was lucky, it's just the Dolby Houston fight, to be honest with you. If I look at them all, it might be a bit of an outside choice, but I've never been to see a fight where it got stopped because there was literally far too much blood on the canvas and they couldn't even stand up anymore. You know, so
ridiculous.
I know, and they literally kicked 7 bells of shit out of each other. You know what I mean? It wasn't like one little cut and that was it. You know, both of them were absolutely streaming. We saw them after the fight. You know, they were drinking beers, and the beer was half bloody blood. You know, by the time they're done with it. So,
that's why we do what we do, man. That's just brilliant, isn't it?
And it just really showed two fighters. I've got a nice picture of them both, actually. It was great. They're both holding their belts still, because obviously one was the interim. Yeah. And, you know, they're both completely bloodied and battered, but they're both still smiling. So it just, you know, it shows you, doesn't it, the fighter attitude and how they are and how they're all friends afterwards. Yes. Mate, it's nice. So to me, yeah, that was definitely my fight of the year, mate. And just obviously the icing on the cake was being stopped for such a random reason, which I've never personally seen before.
I've got a similar photo as Chris, because we were both at that event. And I've got to say, that pressure was so hot that I'm sweating that much through my shirt, it's actually becoming see-through. So the guys that just been in I think we had 3 rounds, and he got stopped too much blood, look better than I do. And I don't know how it works, but it does. It looks ridiculous.
You like
how that fight, when you said that you stopped with the ridiculous idea, I totally forgot about that. That was wild. Just when I
they were sliding all over the place. What was the move? Was it Blade Corey? Remember with the slipping all over?
Probably forgot that got stopped because of that. I think you just remember how much damage they had. So every time I think about it, it got stopped for a cut, but no, fuck, it was the slip and slide.
Slip and slide for sure, man. Don, I'll come with you next, man. What's your pick? Fight of the year?
Yeah, I was looking over. I'm going to go with Gastelum and Adesanya. It was a fun back and forth fight. Weirdly enough, I wasn't expecting. I think sometimes you get that with the fights that end up in your best. It's one where maybe you're just not expecting it. But it was fun. It was up and down, back and forth. Yeah, I'm going to go with that one.
Fair play, man. Fair play. Right, okay. So who we got next? We've got John Ferguson. John, your pick. Fight of the year, mate.
Both fights so far been mentioned. I'm kind of with them on the top 2 fights. As a shout out, I'll give Bob Arena against Vincent Luque as an outside one there, because that was a barn burner. The pair of them just went toe to toe. It was a great just kind of war. But I think fight of the year has got to Gastelum and Adesanya. It was disgustingly good to watch. But yeah, just as an outside one, Bob Arena and Vincent Luque.
Yeah, that was a great scrap, man. That's on my wee YouTube playlist for MMA fights if I ever could bold looking part of that for sure, man. Good shout though. Let's see, Kieran Cobley. Kieran, your pick, fight of the year, mate.
I'm sort of the same boat as Kevin and the rest of the guys. With Gastelum versus Adesanya, UK fans, we used to stay up until 5 o'clock in the morning to watch some UFC main events, and you're tired and you can barely stay up for them. And this fight, it kept me up so much, and I think it was that good it actually ruined the main event of the evening, because everyone was just so worn out by watching Adesanya versus Gastelum going 5 rounds.
What was the main event? I forgot myself. What was after that?
Holloway versus Poirier.
Oh, of course it was, right.
Great fights.
Yeah.
I think that was a good one as well.
Yeah,
it was. But we were fried at that point.
Yeah, as another outsider, James Webb versus Natalia Frederick 1. That was at Cage 106 as well. Yeah. That was had everything. It had knockdowns, pile driver.
Yeah.
Contentious decision to anyone in the draw. I personally think Frederick won. I mean, if you got a point deducted and it was a draw, you probably did win if you didn't have it deducted. But yeah, that was an awesome fight. And then I've got a bit of a funny story about that one. So we went to Natalia Frederick's management team at Newsome, and I was sort of like standing with Natty outside while James Webb was doing his interviews, because I didn't know if the two of them got along or not. And Natty was like, "Oh no, we're fine, we're best mates and that." So we went in and were just hugging it out, and it was weird. But no, that was that stands out to me as a bit of an outside choice.
That's awesome, man. Kyle, the Monster Nelson, you're in the UFC, sir, but any MMA pick from 2019, who you picking for your fight of the year, sir?
Yeah, I definitely have to go with Gastelum versus Adesanya for my number one, but I also liked the Holloway versus Poirier fight. I thought it was interesting for Holloway to go up to 155, and I think it's a division he can do good in. I'd like to see him prepare a little more, like take a little more time to put on a bit of muscle and see how he does at 155. But I definitely think he's he could be competitive there.
For sure, man. Matthew Penny, your pick, fight of the year, sir?
Well, everybody was talking about Adesanya and Gastelum, and it was a great fight. But my personal opinion is I just preferred the main event of that night. Both were probably equally as good, but it's just the one when I thought back about what one I was going to pick. Poirier Holloway stuck out first, so that's what I've gone to pick. And it was, it was a technical slugfest at times, and that that knee to Holloway's forehead in the 4th round, and you see Holloway step up and just the blood just spit out everywhere. That image for me of that event stuck out. So for me, poor Holloway.
Fair play, man. Good shout. Finally, Tom Heffernan. Tom, your pick. Fight of the year, mate.
Well, at risk of sounding repetitive, my wee piece of paper here says UFC 236 had 2 of the best fights of the years, which was Gastelum, Adesanya, and Holloway and Poirier. And I think that I've got a soft spot for Kevin Gastelum, and I think that fight was my favourite of the year. He's just such a tough guy. He's up there against Adesanya, who looked so much bigger, rangier. He's got all the skill set in the world, and Gastelum just looks like a guy that's come out the crowd to come and fight, and he's just so tough. And so definitely that one. But I think I can't remember who it was that said it, but I really do think that Ross Houston and Nicholas Dalby deserve a mention in that pot as well.
For sure, man.
Yeah, Kelvin's got a soft spot as well around his belly.
Yes, that's why I like myself on him.
Good for him, man. I love to see
I'm
that.
not saying anything. I'm sitting here with a tub of miniature heroes
Yeah,
in front
man.
of me.
I was jumping on the scales the other day. I mean, I haven't trained since the old knee surgery in the last wee while, and I was jumping on the scales, and they were like, "What do you reckon?" And I was like, well over 90, lads, well over 90 kilos, I've got to say. And I was 86. And I was shouting at the scales for the first time that they were under. I was like, piss off. I'm not 86. I'm well over that, man. I've had far too many Christmas puddings. It's not even Christmas yet. You joking me?
What's that?
Fat. I think that's what it is in stone, mate. Fat.
I'm old school. I'm stones. Yeah.
I'm trying to remain part of the EU. I think that's what it is. No, I'm only kidding. So we have a winner after all those votes. Adesanya versus Gastelum is Martial Arts Chat Podcast Fight of the Year. So we move on to our next category, which is Fighter of the Year. I mean, it's hard to look past anyone but Masvidal, really, I think. Some people put Adesanya in this category, and I get it. You know, we just mentioned their awesome performance against Gastelum, and then did not look at a place doing the damn thing against Whittaker, but you look at Masvidal, man, a guy who I've admired for a long time, coming over for Strikeforce, and then this year, not only did they rise to the occasion, but he just dominated, man. Came to this neck of the woods and took out Darren Till in spectacular fashion. Got dropped. Everybody forgets he got dropped right away. It probably woke him up. You know what I mean? Like, didn't bother him in the slightest. And then we all know the 5-second flying knee KO. And you know, I get it. Diaz was stopped, not through his doing, through a doctor stoppage, but it was one-way traffic, man. That guy was, you know, absolute destruction, beautiful destruction. Just picked Diaz apart, man. There's no one else. I find it hard to get convinced of that. There's no one else that can tell me that this is the year of Gamebred or Game Masvidal. But we'll come to the guys one at a time. We'll start with Chris Allen on this one. Chris, your thoughts? Who's your pick? Fighter? Yeah.
Quick for you, mate. Yep, Masvidal.
Nice.
For exactly the same reasons that you said.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue, especially this year when it's been so clear cut. But
what a comeback! You know, come back after 2 years and having the best run, and then just doing what he's done, mate. It's just great. You can't, like I said, you can't argue that. As much as them trying to be, obviously, don't want to piss off any of the Brits, obviously, because all the beef he's had with Leon Edwards, but. You know
that was the other KO he got this year. I forgot about that. That's right.
Well, you leave him alone.
Brilliant. I mean, he's part of his class, so the 3-piece with soda and all that. His chat's brilliant. And baptised so many individuals. It's been great, man. He's backed up all the talk, and not for the sake of smack talk. He's just being him. And,
and look what he did to Nate Diaz, man. Like, not many people can do that.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. Well said. Don Wilson, Don, your pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Masvidal again. Even like everything you said as well, but also outside the cage, he was a huge kind of like public. If I think back to kind of what fighters I saw really kind of getting promoted and stuff this year, he was everywhere for that. Even though the belt was fucking stupid, but he was like kind of that was like McGregor status for how much he was kind of out there and seeing articles and promos and all that. I think he'd done really well with that. And also, did you see the thing he retweeted like that the other day?
The Ben Askren thing?
No. It's the. I think he's retweeted some girl for like. It's either I think it's Celtic Park.
What?
She's got a pizza puts us a big handful of chips in the pizza, folds the pizza, and starts eating it, and he says, "This is what I want for my next press conference." #, super necessary.
Right.
I was like, there we go. There's your winner. You can fucking pizza. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Well, that brings back memories. But no, yeah, definitely the Masvidal. Like he was everywhere this year, in and out the cage. So I think he definitely deserves it.
And deservedly so. You're right, mate. John Ferguson, John, your pick, fighter of the year, mate.
I'm going against the grain. I'm going to pick Peter Yan.
Peter
Yan. Ooh, that's a good pick.
Fantastic fighter, and he has not put a foot wrong. He's went in there and they've thrown everyone at him, and he just knocks him down. He is championship material. Insane output, insane violence. He's just, anytime he fights, you just know you're going to get a great fight with him. And been a fan of his for a long time, and just he's great. Championship fight this year for fun. He's an absolute savage.
Great shout, man. Absolutely tremendous shout. Yeah, I mean, I love the. I love seeing you. This is bad. I'll just say it anyway. I love seeing Uriah Faber getting his ass kicked because he's no business being in there anymore. But Peter Yan, I've watched in ACB, and I'm delighted to see that transfer over into what is now, that's going to be big time for this boy. I'm really hoping so, because the sky's the limit for this guy. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to this guy's journey for sure, man. Let's move on. Kyle, the Monster Nelson, your pick, sir, for fighter of the year.
I'm going to go with Israel Adesanya for this one. I think he's maybe faced a little better competition than Jorge Masvidal, and obviously he's got the official championship belt. Jorge won the BMF belt, which was cool, but I think I think competition wise, Israel's kind of faced tougher competition, and I think Israel's going to be a pretty big superstar with his his charisma and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to pick him.
Fair play, man. Good shout. I mean, there's no doubt of his rise this year, continual rise, and he cemented his legacy now with interim and now undisputed champ for sure. Tom Heffernan, Tom, your pick, fighter of the year. Who you got?
I was torn between Adesanya and Masvidal as well. One of them, just beating Whittaker, Gastelum, Anderson Silva, all in the same year. Winning the belt, I think probably it should go to Adesanya, and he's my pick. However, just 1% behind him is George Masvidal. They created the belt, which, a BMF belt, and I was going to give him it just purely for the fact that when he was having that backstage interview, he just sort of said, "Excuse me," nice and politely to the wee girl.
His hands behind his back. Yeah.
He just, "Excuse me a moment, please." And he went over and had this fight. It was brilliant, cool as you like. But I think just UFC belt outranks a BMF belt, and I'm going to go with Adesanya.
You're right. It was quite British in its way. The politeness.
What was it that happened?
Oh, the Rocky Edwards incident, wasn't it?
Right.
And he just had his hands behind his back.
He was interviewed by one of the outlets. I can't remember who it was, but it was a female anyway, and he was obviously giving them some cheek in the background, and he turns around and he's like, "Just excuse me a moment."
Pardon me, please.
Yeah, and then he could have went at it.
And scudded him in the face about 10 times.
Well, Masvidal says where I'm from, if you walk up to me with your hands raised, then you want to fight me, so I hit him. That's basically what he said. He had his hand.
I believe it.
You know what? The British police did nothing. They just let him go. There was no charge or nothing. It was like, yeah, see you later.
Well, they're too busy trying to arrest fucking environmental climate change wankers. What they called again?
Exactly.
Those people are super gluing themselves to fucking Abbey Road. Anyway, Matthew Penny, let's hear it. Who you got?
Same as everybody, pretty much. I had Masvidal and Adesanya, and I'm picking Masvidal purely because he got 3 finishes, and Adesanya just got a couple of decisions. And the fact that Masvidal had that amazing, world-class knockout of Askren, but both deserve it. So it's just purely on that split them for me. So Masvidal.
Fair enough. Kieran, what about you? Your pick, fighter of the year?
I'm in the same boat as everyone else, where it basically comes between a straight pick between Adesanya or or Masvidal. And I've personally got to go with Adesanya. I mean, this year, you look at who he's fought. He fought Anderson Silva in Australia, entered the Matrix against him. Just Anderson really couldn't touch him. He had that fight with Gastelum, which was an absolute war. And then to round off his year, he knocked out Bobby Knuckles, who is one of the hardest men on the planet. Even Yoel Romero couldn't knock him out. Just to round off his year and cement his champion status. So for me, it's Adesanya, and I think over the next few years, he's probably going to be fight of the year for like another 2 or 3 times. But I think another mention. It's probably got to be Amanda Nunes. She cemented herself as the greatest women's fighter of all time this year.
She is the greatest, man. I mean, who better than her, right?
I reckon she'll beat most of the men.
Fucking no kidding, by the way. Oh my god. I mean, there's the first time I saw Amanda Nunes was a fight with Kat Zingano, and she was winning that first round. And then this sounds awful, man, but I think that was just around about the time when Zingano lost her man, and she was, put it this way, she was well motivated for ain't nobody going to beat me tonight, that kind of thing. And she just powered through. She took the loss of the first round and then just got on top and fucking destroyed Nunes. I can't remember if it was the second or third round, but it was heavy elbows from out. And that was the first time I saw Nunes. And I didn't really think much of her apart from that first round. But any time I've seen her since then, I mean, you name it, Holly Holm, Miesha Tate, Ronda Rousey, fucking Chris Cyborg, anything, man.
She's beaten every champion, mostly in the first round.
Yeah, she's dominated. Absolutely dominated every fight she's been in. So impressive, man. And gets better, it seems, with every fight, Chris. Like, what a competitor. There's no one better than
his wish. Give him his wish back across into gender fight.
I want to see it with company him in spades for the final award will be coming in for sure, but I want to get Kevin Jones, your last pick. Fighter of the year, so you might have a deciding vote. Who you got?
Oh, but you know me, man. I'm coming out of left field. I'm not going to decide. I mean, on the surface, dude, I want to, you look at it and you want to pick Masvidal. I get it, man. I mean, what he did to Nate Diaz, I mean, he just straight up manhandled him. I forget exactly how you put it, John, but it was very nice. I mean, and that is not, he didn't do nothing nice to him, man. He straight manhandled him, took Ben Askren out the game, But then you look at it, and I think Israel Adesanya is a great pick too, man. I got a couple other people on my list. I mean, AJ McKee's having a great year, and he's going to probably win that Grand Prix they got going over our Bellator. I really wanted to pick Henry Cejudo. Based on he only gets the 2 wins, man, but they're both finishes, both over I think former world champions. I had all in my head a minute ago. That's who I want to go with him. And plus him reinventing himself outside of the ring, letting his personality shine through, much like Masvidal. But you know me, man. I can't pick like everybody else. I don't even know how to say this big dude's name, but Biggie Boy, Jairzinho Rosenstruck. Is that how you say it?
Rosenstruck.
Man, you know who he reminds me of, man? He reminds me of the Predator. He reminds me of Ngannou. And you can't argue with 4 wins and 4 finishes. In this category every year, man, I like looking at a nice volume of work. He's fighting every 4 to 5 months. Even closer apart in between some of those, man. And he started his UFC run this year, 4-0, 4 knockouts. The man is on the
Does the boy finished Alistair over him?
Yeah, that injury against Overeem was just the nastiest thing I've ever seen.
Was fucked.
That lit.
Robbie Lawler style, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, and to make it better, we've got Rosenstruck versus Ngannou in the very near future. I think it's in February.
In February.
Yeah. So that's coming up.
God. Yeah, that'll be good.
You cap off your year by rearranging a K1 dude's face. And Alistair Overeem, man, he wasn't a bad-looking gentleman, and he's going to have a huge mark from his lip to his fucking nose, almost up to his eyeball and shit, for the rest of his life from getting in the ring with that dude. And you look at a guy that he had 9 fights going into that. Man, and how many, what does Alistair Overeem add up to? The guy's got to have like close
fights, maybe? Including K1?
Overeem was winning that fight, though, wasn't he, as well?
He was.
There's one, man, dude. If he can put everything together, I made a prediction years ago that Ngannou would be the champ within 2 years, and he came real close to it. We couldn't put it all together, man. This guy, I think he has a shot at putting it all together and being an all-time great if he continues down this path. And I don't feel, one ounce of fucking regret saying that, dude. I mean, I don't think I'm wrong on that at all.
Fair play, man. We have a winner by 1 vote, and it's Jorge Gamebred Masvidal as our fighter of the year on the Martial Arts Chat podcast. Guys, there's 2 questions just came in as we were yapping there, and I want to throw them in the mix. Jump in if you fancy it. One's on Twitter at Elsforelf is asking Vitor versus Romero for the TRT belt. Who you got?
Oh man, leave my man Romero alone. We're gonna hear with that shit.
Romero.
Probably got Romero as well.
Yeah, I mean, I can't, no doubt. Another one, Samuel Sweeney on Facebook, who's writing a hefty list here. John Jones, Whittaker, Woodley, Khabib, Holloway, Dillashaw, Cejudo, Cyborg, Nunes, Shevchenko, and Namajunas. So my question is, this is a list of champions this day last year. Who do you think will be the champions on the 21st of December 2020?
I can guarantee you John Jones is going to be on there.
And Adesanya.
Yeah,
I can't see that changing, yeah.
Ooh,
I reckon John Jones will be the heavyweight champion.
Cejudo just stripped, right? The flyweight belt.
Yeah, Cejudo's been stripped to the flyweight belt. They've got Benavidez versus Figueiredo in February for that belt.
Right.
Now that's been lined up.
Benavidez, if he wins that fight, he can hang on to that belt for a while if Cejudo don't come back down there and take it from him.
Yeah, I think I personally I'm going to say males. It's going to be Benavidez at flyweight, Cejudo bantam. Feather, I'm going to say Zabit. Lightweight, I'm going to say Khabib. Welter, I'm going to go Leon Edwards. I think he can do it. Middleweight, Adesanya's going to stay there for a while. I think then light heavy and heavy, it's going to be John Jones. Women's, I think Joanna's going to take the strawweight title back in 2020. And then flyweight, I think that'll be Valentina. I think 135 and 145 will stay with Amanda. So I don't think
for that one.
Yeah.
What about the BMF belt? Who had that?
I think Masvidal's taking a real belt this year, baby. I think this man's going to keep it rolling. I mean, we just picked him fighter of the year. You know, I like his chances. The way that he looked in that last fight, dude. I don't know who could have touched him on that night.
Nah, Conor McGregor's taking that BMF belt.
Beating old dudes, beating up old dudes in the bar belt. That's the only title he got right now.
Yeah, you're right, man. Incidentally, do any of those boys pip James Lake for the prizes after those questions?
Not for me.
Nah.
Sorry, lads. There you go. We're moving on to the final part of the show. Our reward is Cringe of the Year. So, I mean, obviously the honourable mentions here are Cejudo. Who we go? Probably Askren. You could put Ben Askren in there as well. And without the Colby Covington, he's in that mix as well. So we'll start with Chris Allen on this one. Chris, who gets your award for the cringiest of MMA fighters this year?
It is a really hard one. Like it is, like you said, Cejudo's my close second for wanting to fight a woman and dressing up like Mickey Mouse out of Fantasia. You know what I mean? But, I don't know, it is hard, mate. Say those three again you just said?
Well, my honourable mentions were Cejudo, Askren and Covington.
I think, do you know what it is
who's
for me?
more cringier than them? That's what comes to mind.
The biggest cringe for me is watching Covington read that bloody book when he's meant to be sitting at a Q&A. That makes me cringe a lot.
And the book's upside down now.
Or whatever, I'm just like, mate, this is just put the book down, you know, you're not doing anything for yourself. I mean, I can't stand the bloke, I'm not going to lie. Do you know what I mean? But, yeah, fuck it. To me, the cringiest moment is Cejudo dressing up like a wizard. That's it.
Fair play. Right, hold on, I'll stick that down. So Triple G is first in the books. Cool, good shout, man. Let's see, we've got Don Wilson. Don, who's your pick for cringiest of the year?
It's got to be Cobley. Everything he does just annoys me. Like, I didn't even want to watch him fight. He's like, I came home from the pub the other night on a Christmas night out, and he was like, I'm like, I fucking don't want to watch this guy. But I still, obviously, I watch any fight, but no, definitely, everything he does, I'm just like, fuck off. Just drop that fucking shit persona and just get on with it. So
He's came out recently. I saw an interview. I forget who it was, and he was like, you know, I just did this gimmick to sort of raise my profile, and I think anyone with a level head would have thought it. We already knew that anyway, right?
Yeah. It's not. We know that it's not him, but it's like he keeps trying. It's like,
so bad. I know.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Just fucking drop it. It's like I remember when Jones and Cormier used to go at it. They told them like their personas were the total opposite of what they actually were. Like Jones was meant to be the nice guy, and Daniel Cormier was coming off as a bad guy. It's like. It's a total opposite. John Jones is the young cocky guy. He's got the right to be a shit, and Daniel Cormier is the guy that everybody loves. But back then it was totally the opposite.
Yeah.
And nowadays it's totally the opposite. Everybody loves Daniel Cormier and stuff. But Covington is just fucking drop it.
I love that side by side. Hey pussy, you still there? I can't wait to get in there and spit in your face.
It's like if you can't do it, don't force it because it's just fucking.
Yeah. He fumble fucks his script up a lot, doesn't he? No, fair play, man.
Yeah.
John Ferguson, who's your pick? Cringe of the year.
I'm going to go with Combate Americas doing TOTs against Alberto.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, fair enough.
That was bad.
With the belts, with the wrestling belt that he had on and all sorts. Alberto had it was. And Tito's promo, he's such a bad...
He's always been brutal, isn't he? He's always been that.
For the size of his cranium, you'd think there's some brain cells there.
I don't know. He's been in the game that long, and every time he gets a mic in his hands, it's if he just forgets how to speak. It's fucking weird.
Like when he squashed that orange juice carton that time, and also, it's just...
That's right.
Yeah, so I'd probably go with that.
Was Tito in the book? Was him and Ken Shamrock? I'm going to beat you into a living death, or was that?
I was Ken Shamrock.
I was Shamrock.
Yeah.
So he talked.
One of Tito's lines was, "There's 5 days in a week. I train 5 days a week, and I train 3 days a week. I know you meet 3 times a day, but he just
I'm sure there's a YouTube video I've got. It's like 10 minutes worth of TRT's material, and it's just
check out when it was a fucking what was that?
It was Affliction.
I think he was just he's post-fight interviews of that. He was like, I think one of the lines was, let me tell you how you're feeling. It's like, what? Fuck off!
You're one of the greatest fighters of all time of the night. Fuck you talking about, you prick. Yeah, well, that's up there for sure. That was a good shout, mate. Mr. Kevin Jones, who's your pick? Cringiest of the year.
My original pick, what I wanted to say was just Conor McGregor. Like, just all the fucking antics this fucking guy's been doing, punching the dude in the bar, smashing the kid's cell phone. I think that was this year. I think he got like 2 different sexual allegation charges, looming somewhere in this country or that country. And, I think my buddy Mike said it best on our show. He said, the guy's just a piece of shit. That's what I wanted to say. So I got a little Conor McGregor hate. And, but I'm going with, Alistair Overeem's lip just getting split by that one shot. Goddamn. So I missed the fight and I just like pull up on my phone like randomly and, during the day and it's like, it's just a close up of his face with his fucking lips split open, like, the fucking, like the Air Jordan logo. And I'm just like, what the fuck happened? And I look it up and I seen all I got to see in that one punch. You know what I mean? It was like, It was just an explosion on his face, dude. It's just like, Jesus Christ, man. We seen Rousey's lip get split at the end of that Holly Holm fight. Robbie Lawler, seems like he had a couple bad splits with his lips getting split open like that, but nothing like this, man. It reminded me of a live fight I was at Bellator up in Oklahoma where Derek Campos hit Brandon Gertz in the forehead so hard that it was, I thought it was the worst cut I'd ever seen. It was like that cut that was on Gertz's forehead on Alistair Overeem's lip, dude. Yeah. Jesus Christ. If that ain't cringeworthy, I don't know what is.
With a couple of brutal knocks this year. Who was it? Mike Perry's nose. Donald Cerrone's eye, but I think he blew his nose. That's why his eye went all fucked up.
Yeah.
There's been a few.
Was it this year with MVP with their knee shot to the head? Or was that a couple of years ago now?
That was a couple of years ago. That was 2016, I think.
Oh bloody hell! Fuck me, where have I been?
The cyborg one, wasn't it?
Yeah. I've never seen anything as bad as that though.
Who was the girl? I always forget her name, and she got punched in the ear and her ear exploded. I think it was in Mexico.
Oh yeah,
Leanne Smith.
Brutal, wasn't
it? Leslie Smith, isn't it?
Smith, sorry.
Yeah.
That was this year, wasn't it?
No, that was a while ago, man. That was when Yair Rodriguez was spewing up post-fight. I remember that night. That was the first Mexico show. Yeah, happy days. Let's see. So, sorry, Kev, what was your pick there? It was Overeem, wasn't it? Overeem.
Overeem, yeah.
Kieran Cobley, who you got for cringe of the year?
So I'm going to feel that I don't know if I can actually classify this guy as a fighter. So over here, we had this little thing this year called Fame MMA UK. It was a total shit. It was a total shit show. Everyone wants to forget it. And I was one of those dirty people that paid 13 quid to watch, right?
No way.
But in the whole build-up to this, the guy, the co-main event had a guy called Martin McKenna versus a guy called Sam Gowland. Now, these guys are famous in the UK for being on a reality TV show called Geordie Shore, which is a UK-based Jersey Shore, essentially. And Martin McKenna decided to become a BTEC Conor McGregor for the press conference, lobbing water bottles, and just being a general prick. So I'm going to say my pick's going to be Martin McKenna, but I don't know if I can actually say he's a fighter because... oh no, he did actually fight in the end. His fight did go on, but it was amateur rules, so I think that's where the blurred lines are coming in.
Right.
So that's my pick.
How did that event go? I remember when that got announced and I clicked it, I'm like, what the fuck is this pish? And
same.
I didn't realise that actually happened.
Yeah, that was last week, man. So my brother came up, built to see me in Leeds for the weekend, and we thought, oh yeah, we'll put it on, and we paid 30 quid to watch it, and it was like the broadcast was absolutely terrible. They had like the first three, for whatever reason, their mainstream, despite being a UK based show, was in Polish. So we had to get find instructions online to find it. Had to get UK commentary.
Oh, because they popped up and they actually had like video clips of fights. I'm like, have these guys done this before? So I think they've been in Europe before.
The Polish, it's a Polish promotion. I think it's like the UK content. It's a bit similar to our Bellator, the European series, really.
I was thinking this is going to be one of those events where every tier in the arena is dark and you can only really see the first two rows.
Yeah, it was. Someone posted a picture of like the arenas in Newcastle, and they hardly sold any seats. And that's despite tickets going on a 50% sale on Black Friday as well.
They done the ABC at the Hydro here, and they were flogging tickets for pennies. And
it was bad, man. They should have just closed that section. I always say that.
Yeah, because like there was a lot of folk there, but that arena is huge.
Yes.
I think, but I think I'm going to change my pick. I'm going to say Fame MMA in general. It's just a concept.
all of them.
Yeah, all of it. Blanket ban it. Like, ban it.
Brilliant. Mr. Kyle Nelson, your pick on the cringe of the year, sir.
Yeah, I have to go with Henry Cejudo. I think he's everything he does comes off super cringy. I have a hard time watching any of his interviews or anything like that, and some of the weird videos he posts. So, and I think it's also he's trying to be like entertainingly cringy or something like that, but it just goes so cringy that I just can't watch it. So, yeah, so I think he's definitely the cringiest of this year.
So, it really turns you off. Like you now turned off to the point you can't watch his fights because of how, I guess, cringy his promos are.
I'll watch his fights, but like some of the weigh-ins and the face-offs, and when he brings stuffed animals and stuff, it's just it's just I don't know. I feel awkward for him watching it, so I can't.
Wanting to fight women, you know.
No, man, fuck.
That was a weird one.
It's a toe curler for sure. Matthew Penny, who you got for cringe of the year, mate?
Well, I'm going to go for Covington, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing for him. Because I think in his eyes, whether we talk about him in a bad way or a good way, he's still getting talked about no matter what. Whatever podcast you log on to and listen to, whatever show you log on to, everybody's talking about Covington. Might be a little bit less after his latest loss. But still, I think he knows that we know it's fake. And I think Joe Rogan kept calling him out about it this year. But it worked, and you pay to see him get beaten up, or you pay to watch him and see if he wins. And he's a good fighter, and he can back it up, the cringy talk. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. And he did drag out a semi-entertaining fight out of Usman, who's probably the most boring fighter on the card. I won't say it to his face if I ever have the chance, but still, he is boring. So if you can drag a decent fight out of him and an entertaining fight, he's done his job, really, because MMA is part entertainment, whether we like it or not. So, Colby Covington, cringe of the year, but not necessarily the bad thing.
Just following on from the comments there about MMA being an entertainment thing, I think one of my second answers for this was going to be the whole BMF thing. I know sport is entertainment realistically, but I hate the whole concept of the BMFL having a former wrestler present what was basically a gimmick belt. That to me was a bit that soured me on the fight. I was perfectly happy to see Masvidal versus Diaz as the main event.
No,
I didn't need it. I agree.
Consider how much they always back up how this is a serious sport, like with Dana White. Every time people ask him to do kind of certain things, is no,
and then he brings a fucking velvet case and he holds it. He's got.
And what made me cringe even more is when The Rock hands it over and the whole crowd's booing because the decision was just like, I can't even watch. Just made it even worse. Everyone's booing. Everyone's thinking.
To be honest, man, I ignored all that. I ignored it the same way as I don't take seriously the rankings or any of that shit. You know what I mean? I don't lose sleep over any of that stuff. I mean, I get it. It's to try and get outside eyes in, whatever else, but it's no big deal to me, man. I don't. I'm too busy ranting about fucking Labour politicians.
Stop bringing politics into this talk.
Sorry, man. I know. I'm trying my best to avoid it. It's always on my mind. Tom Hinton has the deciding vote. Who are you going for? Cringe of the year, mate?
Well, I'm stunned nobody's mentioned this one yet, especially the UK-based guys, right? Now, under normal circumstances, Henry Cejudo wins this day in, day out. He's cringe he's like the emperor. But if you cast your mind back to Bellator London and the opening of the Channel 5 programme, and we had Terry Brazier.
The walkout.
And we had Terry Brazier's walkout with his dance troupe. They were like the Chippendales, only badly trained. And they ended up doing some sort of they pretended to be a pack of wolves and dogs, and he was guiding them down the runway, and it was the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And honestly, I'm actually.
Oh, you're the lucky one for that.
It's awful.
If you get Sky Q, because you can go in and download it and watch it. It's horrendous.
I'll do that. Do that later.
It's horrendous. It's the worst thing you've ever seen in your life.
It's Magic Mike meets I don't know what shite. That's really cringy. Aye, that would What was the story though? Was it not a dance group that he knew or something like that? There was some kind of background to that.
I think so. Yeah. When I was walking through the back in the press area, I saw before they all walk out the curtain, I saw Terry and I thought, who the fuck are all these people with him? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're all doing stretching and doing the splits and stuff. And I'm thinking, is Terry going to come out and do a triple backflip? Because I've spoken to Terry a few times, and I tell you what, he's an hard bastard, from the old streets of London old days, And I was thinking, surely not. And then when I saw it come out, you're right. I was surprised as you were. I really was.
Yeah. What made it worse? It just dragged on for ages as well. He was walking so slowly down the ramp. It just dragged on and on and on, and that made it even worse.
On top of that as well, Soren Back just basically moulded for 3 rounds.
He did. Yeah. He's outstanding.
I love Terry.
How did Brazier? Because after Bungard rinsed him, Bungard got the undercard, and then he was fucking still back up way high in the main card. How did that work out?
Well, he was fighting a former champ and Soren Back, and that's was more high profile than Bungy's proponent, I guess.
Yeah,
Bungy fucking rinsed him, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, you go back to the undercard. Let's you." It's like, what the fuck? Cut off.
Honestly,
I guess I've got to have the deciding vote. Then I've not voted. We've got 2 votes for Cejudo, and we've got 2 votes for Cobley Covington. And then we've got Terry Brazier, Overeem, Ortiz, and is it Martin McKenna? Was that the guy? Oh, the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame. Just put it all under there.
All of them. I don't know, man. I mean, that's tough. I like. I actually do like Cobley Covington. I've said this before, not the gimmicks, but. Go on.
I'll tell you what. Whoever didn't pick Cobley or Cejudo, someone step up and say, right, if you have to choose between these two, let's do it like that.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pick against Covington. So Cejudo would be my answer.
No, I mean, I like Cobley. I love the fight against Lawler. I've said it a few times on this podcast. That guy, Lawler had no answer for him. He mixed it up so well. Thought he was doing really well in the Usman fight until he gets, sparked in the last round. So fuck it. If I'm going to be the deciding vote, I'm going to pick Triple C. I'm picking Henry Cejudo, and he takes the award for cringe.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Here in MMA. There we go, guys. So, well done to James Lake. You win A1 figure full boxing gloves. You win some strength and conditioning equipment thanks to beastie.co.uk. and you win £50 worth of vouchers to spend at Feel Supreme, CBD oil, mushroom technique, loads of stuff, man. You can spend them wherever you like. And also, you get put in a table front and centre for myself, for Don, for Tom, and the next on top as well. So money's in, lads. So it's good. That was a good shout, by the way, Tom. I liked your influence here, mate. But there we go, guys. Another year wrapped up here on the Martial Arts Show podcast, and we'll be back in the next decade, I guess. But let me, at this time, extend my thanks to the panel, and we'll start with the hardest working man in MMA. Where would I be without this guy, man? I can't say it enough. Massive thank you for his help over the last year and over the last wee while, Mr. Chris Allen. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, my friend.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you, mate. No, thank you very much for bringing me on board with yourself. So, thank you very much. It's been great with speaking to all of you as always. I really enjoy when we do these sort of things. So, it's been fantastic. So I'll be really quick. So, first of all, check out any of my podcasts. I've been a bit slack recently, so I'm going to pull my finger out. I've been a bit busy with something else. So, Martial Arts Chat podcast, we listen to now. Listen out to all my fighter interviews. Go on to my Facebook. It's Chris Allen MMA, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that sort of stuff. So, please go check that out. Give it a like and a follow. Check out my articles on mindmanenews.com, which has all my videos with my actual video interviews with fighters and things like that as well attached. All my links are there. I'm with a new organisation now called Cage Gladiators. It's an organisation which is part of 1FC and a few other places, so please check it out. We're going to be starting up soon this year. And John, thank you very much, mate, and it's going to be another good year, mate, I'm sure.
Looking forward to 2020 with you, my friend. To Don Wilson, Fight Talk Scotland. Don, feels like you've been here longer than me. Always a pleasure, big man, and Merry Christmas, everybody.
I'm also up for a chat. You can find me at Fight Talk Scotland anywhere. I'll pop up somewhere. Thanks for having me on all the time, John. It's always a good laugh.
Good stuff, man. To MMA Huddle's John Ferguson. John, thank you so much. All the chat you've given us over this last wee while. Look forward to chatting to you in the new year, and Merry Christmas, my friend.
Well, I was going to say seasonal greetings to all you guys. It's been a blast. I love coming on the show. And all I can say is, MMA Huddle. We're nearly at 1,000 subs on YouTube, so anyone feel free to pop in. Proper awesome. But other than that, had a great time, and it's been great chatting to you all tonight.
Awesome stuff, man. To Kieran Cobley, Newsome MMA. Kieran, massive thank you. Anytime you come on, man, you're always bailing us out. But a pleasure. Always good to company, good to chat, and I look forward to chatting to you in the new year, buddy.
Yeah, cheers for having me on, man. It's always a pleasure. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, everyone involved tonight. You can follow me on Twitter at Cobley Report. You can follow Newsome MMA on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. We go to a lot of shows live. We go and do the live reports. We do interviews. We've got some big plans coming up for 2020. I'm really excited to be working on. I've also got my own kickboxing website, which I'm doing as a university project, which is called Kickboxing on Tap. So there's going to be a few content on that, especially for the local kickboxing shows. But man, I'm looking forward to 2020 and looking forward to getting back on the show in the new year. I think 2020 is going to be another huge year for MMA.
Awesome stuff, man. Thank you so much for joining us, the monster, Kyle Nelson. Looking forward to following your journey in 2020, and hopefully we'll get some more chats with you in the near future. But thank you so much for coming on, my friend.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me on. You can follow me on Twitter at __monster, Instagram themonster705_UFC, and then on Facebook at Kyle the Monster Nelson. And hopefully early next year we'll have some fight news.
Awesome stuff, man. Purely MMA's Matthew Penny, Portsmouth's biggest fan and adopted jock. It's always a pleasure to get your time, buddy. I look forward to chatting with you in the new year, my friend.
Mate, great fun as always. It's been a couple of years. I've been inviting me on, and I really appreciate it. And without sounding too soppy, it's a real highlight of my week when you invite me on. So thanks very much. And thanks to all the panel members that I've been on shows with this year and the last year and the coming year. I look forward to it. So you can catch me at Purely MMA on Twitter. I live tweet all the UFC events and most of the Bellator events as well when I can stay up for them. So I just like to have a discussion place really where people can come on, reply to my tweets, and we can all just chat about what we love best, and that's MMA. So thanks, John. Thanks, everybody. Merry Christmas and have a good New Year.
Awesome stuff, man. Tom, it was a good shout. We picked James Lake. I'll see you front and centre for the next on top, my friend. But awesome stuff, man. It's always good to get your insight, get your chat. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Mr. Heffernan.
Thanks for having us on, and hope everybody that was part of this has a great time, and you drink plenty beers, and look forward to the Brighter versus the Fighter coming back for the fight in January, so we're kicking that back off again.
Awesome stuff, man. And finally, to my brother from another mother, greatest thing I love at Texas. Guy's been on the show longer than I have, Mr. Kevin Jones. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, man.
I have my little mute button on, but yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. You know, I want to thank John for providing me a home still to talk about MMA with all you guys. My show actually ended this year. We got canceled, but we had a 5.5 year run. So I don't know what I got planned next, but it's always a pleasure coming on here, and I hope to keep getting invited back on and keep saying crazy shit and with you guys. So thank you.
Awesome stuff. If you like this podcast, search for Martial Arts Chat on all the platforms, man. Doesn't matter what it is. Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, you name it, we're on it. Go to facebook.com/Martial Arts Chat, give us a like there, or follow us on Twitter @Martial Arts Chat. I'm John Boy McAvoy, and I'll see you next decade on the Martial Arts Chat podcast. Boom, there's your dinner.